Peter, is there any reason why whenever airplane flies, you look at the sky?
He's always looking for a bird shitting on him.
That's
He thinks it's a
exactly
big
right.
bird.
I was about to say, Patrick stole my thing. If a bird shits on my head and I can feel it, imagine what happens if it's a plane. I love aeroplanes. I have my whole life.
I know it.
Yeah.
Peter, the fourth one?
The fourth one. It's a very, very deep ruby. Somewhat unfocused, no extract showing, or very little extract showing. On the palate, I found it pleasing. With a nice acid. I thought that it was well balanced, but then I got a little bit of alcohol at the finish. And I liked the wine.
I didn't like the wine. It both smelled and tasted, had notes of vomit for me. Barf.
Baby.
That is a classic descriptor for one of my varietals. So we'll see where you went with it. Because I'll tell you, it's a classic, barf is a classic descriptor for a specific variety for me. Okay?
So it was muted on the nose. I also got some dark fruit and some mineral. And it was nondescript. The alcohol was a little bit high. The tannins were a bit firm. It was okay length. If it wasn't for the barf, this would fall into a non dice niente category for me. Right? But with the barf, I can't do it. And compared to the flight of wines that we had a few days ago, the vast majority of those wines were much better than this. There was a candy element. There was an element to the fruit that I said, I've had this before. Nothing was jumping out to me in terms of place. I don't think it's particularly well made, so I'll just leave it at that.
Should I tell you the
Yes.
variety that I think, for me, the Koch variety, is Koch in South Africa, the slang word
Carignan?
for barf is Koch.
How do you spell it?
K-O-C-H. But it's slang. It's Tempranillo. For me, Tempranillo has that barf character.
Earthy, yeah.
Barf? B-A-R-F?
BARF, which is slang for vomit.
Baby vomit or just vomit?
Just vomit.
Just vomit.
Yeah.
All right. I like this wine pretty much.
Good, I'll give you mine.
So, and I also liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This fourth one, Gran Cornas from Torres, 2015, Reserva Cabernet Sauvignon.
Let me taste that again.
And from Penedès.
There's still an element that I don't like, and there's an element on my palate that is giving me a yuck face.
Was not powerful Cabernet Sauvignon for me.
But I think I see what you mean with the bar. Probably I love to taste bars.
What can one say?
Wine number 5.
Medium plus garnet purple, densely colored, plum, toasty oak, and I had a question of smoke. So I questioned whether or not this could have come from a place that had had some wildfires.
Just a second, please. Once the car...
Oh yeah, that's Jerry's hot rod.
Yeah, and usually it doesn't take a long time to...
Warm up.
Yeah.
He's tired of needs to do it a different way.
I think I need to create a over...
We need an X-rated channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so wine number 5, medium plus garnet purple color, plum, toasty oak, and there was smoke on there. And I wasn't sure if the smoke was coming from the toast level on the oak or smoke coming from smoke taint from a vineyard. A big bold wine, full-bodied, lots of alcohol, lots of flavor, a little bit lactic on the finish, pretty good length. I thought this was a New World, more apt to be a California.
I think Patrick's being a little kind to this wine compared to me. But I have a sort of split view of the wine. To me, this is the full catastrophe.
Full catastrophe.
This is the full catastrophe. This is the full atheist winemaker who believes he's God rather than believing in God. This is mega red, mega purple. This is California monstrosity. It's no new oak here. The characteristic you're getting with all the oak and the smoke on top of it is all the essences and the chips and all the kind of stuff. It is sweet, almost sugary. It's California Cabernet Sauvignon. It's an absolute disaster. I don't want to drink it, but I don't think other people should be berated for doing so.
Right, no, I agree. For somebody who likes very flavorful, very oaky, New World, huge wines, the monster wines, it's a well done monster wine. I don't berate people for drinking anything at the, It's their choice. People drink wine sometimes for flavor, sometimes because of label. Yeah, there's lots of reasons.
All right, wine number 5. This is Freak Show.
No shit. That's well named. That is a freak show.
It's Cab.
Yeah. California Cab, right?
Yeah, California Cab, 2018. The winemaker's name is
The winemaker has a name?
It's from Lodi.
From Lodi. Okay.
Where did you find it?
It-
Here. From Lodi, California.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's about right.
And our last wine, Peter.
Number 6.
Even darker than number 5, which amazed me.
Yeah.
Some bread on the nose, some VA. Other than that, some green. Pretty much like this. The false oak. Although this one seemed to me to be quite intriguing. It was a little less of an assault. The use of oak, there might be some real oak on this one. Very much in the mold of this one, of the 5. Better mannered. More or less the same score for me.
And I'm in the same boat as Peter. This was a little bit riper. It has had this raisin characteristic that I often am not crazy about, but it had layers of flavor. And even though there's oak on the wine, the oak was better integrated. I found the wine easier to taste than the previous one, so I would have scored it a little bit higher.
That surprises me a little bit because in terms of color, this is more dense than the fifth one.
Exactly.
But the taste,
The taste is, they're both heavy wines. The oak in the fifth wine made it heavier than this one. So my recommendation for this wine, not for me, I'd be interested to see what this would be like in 5 years. May not be much. Hope springs eternal, though not something that I would sit down and have more than one glass. But I can see that for people who love big, bold, flavorful New World wines, if that's what tickles your fancy and you get a big piece of meat and you're going to go for it, be happy.
Yeah, you know, I think in terms of waiting to see what this is like in 5 years' time, I live in California, like you guys. California real estate is very expensive. Do I feel like lavishing California real estate on this wine for 5 years? Not so much.
I would have also considered Petite Syrah just because of the amazing color.
all right, number 6, the last bottle.
Same frigging producer,
Same producer,
Petite Syrah.
Petit Syrah, and 2000. It's hard to read.
Yeah, the labels are very busy.
Yeah, very busy. I don't see.
Let me take a quick peek. Yeah, very difficult label. Somebody obviously has
That's $4 of wine and $6 a bottle.
obsessive compulsive disorder or attention deficit disorder. I don't know. I don't see a vintage on here either. Shitty
Let
label.
me have a look, see if I can do any better than you guys.
I don't know how you call that kind of game, but sometimes you see two different pictures.
Right.
And you.
Lodi appellation, 2017 Petite.
2017.
Yeah.
Where did you find it?
That's what the problem is. So yeah, we need to move on. What's next?
So 2 favorites and the least favorite wine.
I hate my 2 favorites. I really hate my 2 favorites.
But you wanted to taste $15 wine. That's what
I
you
wanted
said.
to.
Yeah, that's what you said on our previous video.
No, you wanted us to taste $15 wine.
Actually, I opened up the other day and I poured Jay some, a $15 bottle of wine that was better by far than any of these wines. It was from Provence, Grenache, Syrah, and that was absolutely delightful. Far better than any of these wines.
The problem sitting here is the 3 of us have been drinking wine for so long that we look for authenticity. We are not scared of dry wine. We are looking for nuance. Some of the people that are watching this, most of them, it's not a problem, it's just a fact, don't have our experience. And so these wines, these kind of wines, work for them because they've got everything in abundance, there's some sweetness to them, and I don't have a problem with people enjoying those wines. I have a problem with them thinking that that's where they should be.
Yeah.
Then what should our viewers do?
Well, We know that they'll listen to me. They'll give some lip service to Peter. And one thing that we have also proved by the previous tasting to this tasting is that when Peter and I are involved in the choices of the wines, the wines are better. And your selections aren't based upon your history with these wines. They're based upon the given prices and that some of these wines were available in Asia.
And respected there.
Right.
For me, my sort of final comment on these wines is that it bears out what I said last week, again this week, which is there are parts of the world, or specifically Europe, but other parts of the world, where the guys try hard to make vin de terroir, even at these price points. And it shows in authenticity and balance and those kind of things that these wines just simply don't have. Because these wines are tailor-made for an audience. And the other ones are being made by good old-fashioned winemakers.
Last time's tasting, we tasted the wines much more cheaper than these wines, right?
And they were
Under
better.
13.
Yeah, and they were better wines.
They were better wines. I believe our viewers are remembering what you said last time.
They remember what I said?
When we tasted.
So at least I'm sure he doesn't remember, but if they remember.
Listen, they're not allowed to make fun of me. My liver takes the hits so that yours don't.
You were pointing to your spleen, the liver's on the other side.
Shows you what he knows, just because he's a doctor.
Yeah, a doctor says so, so it must be true.
I have a wine guy's liver. It's on this side. In fact, it fills the whole cavity.
Last time you said when we tasted under $13 wine, you mentioned about $15 wine. And $15 wine, we can have twice better than those wines.
I was wrong.
And again, we don't have to repeat the exercise, but we can do that at any point in time. Yeah. We can always do a challenge at a later tasting where we come up with a couple of others that would beat them.
Why are you looking at me like that?
If I were 25 years old, I'd be happy to drink the same wines week after week after week. But I get bored now.
Please subscribe and leave a like. This is the most important part.
All right. For the Wapples, Wapples, please subscribe and give us a like.
Yeah. Peter, please don't say give us 2 likes.
Give us 2 likes.
Then the like is cancelled. And people actually are doing that.
Oh, you know what? You told me that once before and I'd forgotten.
So it's like he loves me not.
Yeah, exactly.
He loves me not.
Exactly. Just give a 1 like, please.
Also, sitting here, we'll be able to tell if the wine was good. Because next week when we come here, if this bush has grown to cover the whole house, we know the wine was good. If we can see the house, we know the wine was not so good.
I'm not sure if my landlord would be happy with that.
That's right. He can water the bushes as long as he runs, as long as he realizes that there's a parking fee.
He called me a curmudgeon.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
A grouch.
Someone who's always complaining.
Yeah.
Oh, which is true.
Somebody who loves to kvetch.
Which is true. I totally agree with my landlord.
It's a very successful one.
It's very good.
Yeah, very nice one.
If you were having it with crackers, it would spoil the fucking crackers.
이럴 땐 이 와인 네이버 밴드로 놀러 오시면 와인을 잘 몰라도 편하고 싸게 사실 수 있도록 제가 많이 도와드립니다. 다들 만족하시고 좋아하시더라고요.